Welcome to Euron, everyone. And in this lecture, I will be talking about a roadmap for computer vision. So, computer vision is one of the vast, one of the advanced area, one of the booming field. And yes, so many freshers or many experienced person would love to get into this particular area, as this area is going to give you so much of return. So, ROI is very, very high. And even work wise, so we usually do a lot of interesting job. We try to do a lot of interesting work in a field of computer vision. So many aspirant or many experienced people, they are migrating into a computer vision. So let me share my screen, and one by one, let's talk about like what it takes to become a computer vision engineer, what kind of a role which is available, what kind of packages that you all will be able to get as a computer vision engineer. And then last but not the least, I'll be talking about that how you are supposed to do a preparation, from where you can try to do a preparation. So all of these things I'll be talking about, guys, in this particular roadmap. So in a very first place, if I'll talk about a computer vision field, so I would love to talk about a kind of a roles and responsibilities which is available inside a computer vision field, which is again one of the major domain which falls under AI or data science. So here, let's talk about a job role first of all. So so job role over here. Let me write it down. Job role. So the very first kind of a job role that you all will be able to find out is called as computer vision engineer on every label. Believe me, on every label, starting from a fresher or maybe a person who is having 2 to 3 year of experience, or maybe a 6 to 7 year of experience. So that role is called as computer vision engineer. So this is a very first role you will be able to find out across our industry. Now, what these people does, by the way, so they try to work on building image and video pipeline. So see, guys, for any kind of a model that we are going to train in a field of computer vision, or any kind of a model that we are going to retrain, or maybe we are going to maintain it, or any kind of a use cases that we are going to solve. So obviously we have to train it with the help of images or videos. Videos are nothing but multiple images or multiple frames. So you have to take those frames, you have to process those videos, you have to extract the required information, you have to do a lot of labeling over there, you have to do even a cross check for a different kind of a task, and then only you will be able to build a final best version of the model. Obviously this task require a lot of effort, lot of automation over here, lot of even a manual intervention at the end of the day. And this is where these computer vision engineers comes into a picture. So they try to work on building the entire end-to-end pipeline with respect to images and with respect to a video. So that's a very first job role that you will be able to find out. Now, what is the salary package that they used to get? I will be talking about that in a different segment in a same video itself. So today itself, in the same video, I'll be talking about that. Now, so the second kind of a job role that you all will be able to find out widely across our industry is called as machine learning engineer. Learning, Machine learning engineer. Now, so why I'm talking about machine learning over here in a like a field of a computer vision? So there are people, right? There are people you will be able to find out who is majorly contributing into a machine learning. But yes, so sometime what happens is you have to develop and you have to train a DL model as well, a deep learning model as well, based out of images and a data. So basically what these people do is, for some of the use cases, right? For some of the use cases, while solving maybe some sort of a machine learning problem, so they have to face the data and they have to basically integrate a vision part as well. So machine learning engineer, and these engineers are technically called as a machine learning vision focused engineer, a computer vision focused engineer basically. So they will be working on the image data basically, and yeah, so they will be integrating with their existing machine learning model, and This is also a role which is available. And even if you're working as a machine learning engineer in some organization, there is a very high chance that they are going to give you an opportunity to work in a field of a computer vision. Now, the third that you will be able to find out, which is called as AI researcher. AI researcher. So there is like a lot of research which is going on in a field of a computer vision, in a field of reinforcement learning, in a field of NLP, domain wise or even a generic research. So where we are trying to solve a different kind of a complex problem. So even if I'll talk about a computer vision, so we are trying to solve a classification problem. We are trying to solve a segmentation problem, maybe a detection problem, maybe a object tracking problem, a multiple object tracking problem in a real time with the multiple input feed. So all of these places, this AI researcher comes into a picture, and they try to do a research day in, day night, and they are like they try to bring a new version or new volume of the new version of the model at the end of the day. So these kind of AI research assistants or AI researcher, you will be able to find out across a industry in almost every area of the industry. Then there is a fourth kind of a role which you will be able to know like a widely across this particular industry, which is a computer vision, and it's called as autonomous vehicle. Autonomous vehicle engineer. As we all know that this autonomous vehicle, autonomous robot, they require a lot of data processing, and that too a lot of data processing that they use to gather from their environment by using their camera, the image and the videos that they use to capture. So they have to process all of those information, all of those data in a fraction of second to make a best possible decision, to make those system robust. Now, so there is a dedicated autonomous vehicle computer vision based engineering team or development team you will be able to find out. So in whatever industry or whatever company they are trying to develop these kind of a solution. So this is again one of the very amazing field or amazing area, or you will be able to find out this one across everywhere inside this autonomous vehicle industry. Now, the fifth kind of a role that you will be able to find out, that AI in healthcare. The sixth again, so healthcare, so people who works basically on a X-ray, MRI, or maybe in anomaly detection. So based on the images and based on the video. And then you will be able to find out a surveillance and security engineer. Now, a company who is trying to build maybe a solution for a home, for maybe offices, or maybe for traffic safety, or maybe for any kind of infrastructure safety and surveillances. So obviously they need a computer vision engineer, so who can try to integrate all kind of a solution which can detect a human, which can try to detect a threat, which can try to detect any kind of anomaly, which can try to detect any kind of incident inside images and videos. And this is where the surveillance and security engineers comes into a picture. Now, the seventh kind of a role that you will be able to find out across our industry is called as OCR, optimal character recognition, which always plays a very important role in a field of computer vision. So when we have to read out some sort of information from maybe images or maybe from a video. Let's suppose if I have to read out some sort of a letter, some sort of a handwritten things. So over there, OCR, optimal character recognition, comes into a picture. So OCR slash NLP plus vision engineer. So you will be able to find out a lot of requirement for even this kind of engineer. Now, these kind of a role, guys, the role which I have listed down over here. So majorly you should target whenever you are trying to get into a field of a computer vision. Now, let's talk about a salary package. So I'll be talking about a tentative salary package. I'll be talking about a bracket range, that what kind of a salary you are going to get in India and USA. So India versus USA, I'll be talking about a salary package. So India and a global, you can say. So as per the information which is available over the internet. So here role wise, and then let me write it down as India and then USA. Fine. So maybe here, so you will be able to get something in INR per year, and here, so you will be able to get into USD per year. So you can do the comparison, you can do the math accordingly. Okay. Now, so here, if you are going to join as a junior, right, as a fresher, or maybe if you have just like a 1 or 2 year of experience, you will be called as a junior computer vision engineer. Computer vision engineer. So if you are going to join some company in India now, so depends upon the company, like a startup or MNC, you can expect 8 to 12 lakh of package in general. Yeah. So even for a fresher, so they are like, even for an absolute fresher, so they are going to give you a little bit less. Maybe they are going to give you a 4 or 5 lakh. But yeah, as your experience will increase, so this is going to increase in that manner. But yeah, at the same point of a time, if you are going to join some company in USA, you can expect a $80K to a $100K. Sorry, not 1000K by the way. So $100K in between. So somewhere this particular range, you can expect a package inside a USA. Now, if I'll talk about mid level means, so mid level, so a person who is having somewhere around maybe a 3 to 6 year of experience, right? So that is something called as a mid-level person, right? So they can expect in India 15 to 25 LPA. And again, at the same point of a time, if I'll talk about a US market, so you can expect 110K to 150K dollar basically in a US market. Now, if I'll talk about maybe a senior computer vision engineer, so who is having somewhere around 7 to 10 year of experience, so here you can expect 30 to 50 LPA. And at the same point of a time in US market, you can, or maybe even in a European market, almost equivalent to this one, so 220K. So this is something that you can expect, by the way, guys. And if you are going to join, if you have done maybe a master's, or if you have done a PhD, and if you're going to join some company as a researcher, because a demand for a researcher is very, very high in a field of a computer vision. So RESEA, researcher, if you're going to join a computer vision researcher, so in that case, you can expect a package somewhere around 30 to 70 LPA. Again, this varies a lot because let's suppose you have, because that depends upon what kind of a research that you have done, what kind of a paper you have published, under whom you have done the research, from which university you are affiliated. A lot of things matters over here. How many years of experience you have devoted just for the research purposes. So based on that, you will be able to get this particular bracket and this particular range. Now, same point of a time in a US market, you can expect a 200K to 300K. So basically, this is something that you can expect in a US market. And then last but not the least, let's suppose if I'm going to work as a freelancer computer vision developer, right? Freelancer computer vision developer. So in that case, I can expect 1 to 3 lakh per project. Yeah. So because computer vision or freelancer generally gets paid based on the project and based on the work that they are going to give. In India, so basically people used to pay you per project, and at the same point of a time, if you're working for a USA client, so in that case you can charge based on the hours. You can bill them based on the hours, because in India, billing is different. The way we used to do a billing is different, and in the US market, so the way we used to do a billing is very different. So over there, you can charge on an hourly basis, and in India, so you can try to charge based on the project. As simple as that. So hope this part is clear, that what kind of a role that you all will be able to see. Now, let's talk about a tech stack. So let's suppose if I would like to get into a computer vision field, so what kind of a tech stack which I am supposed to learn? So tech stack. So in a very first place, guys, so anyone and everyone who would like to get into this field, Without programming, you won't be able to get into this area. Without programming, you won't be able to get into this particular field. So language is a very first part that we all are supposed to learn. So language means you have to learn basically a Python. So you are supposed to be good, very, very good with respect to a Python. And then there is a library called as OpenCV library, which is a Pythonic based library. But yeah, so this library has been used to deal with the images, to process the images and videos and taking a feed and doing a lot of manipulation with respect to the images. So Python, OpenCV, and there is something called as NumPy. So NumPy is nothing but it's a numerical Pythonic package. And at the end of the day, images are nothing but matrices, right? At the end of the day, it's an array and matrices. So this is going to help you out in terms of manipulating those information, those data. So language wise or library wise, these are the library that you are supposed to learn. So language is basically Python. These are basically a framework, or you can say library, right? So language slash framework. Now, the second part is basically a deep learning specific library, right? Deep learning is specific library. So deep learning is specific library. So deep learning specific library is basically TensorFlow and PyTorch. So mostly you will be writing a code which is specific to a TensorFlow or specific to a PyTorch. TensorFlow is a library which has been developed by Google, and PyTorch is been released or open sourced by Facebook and Meta now, right? So deep learning library, you can try to learn, and again there is nothing much to learn over here. This library has been built in such a simple way that whatever mathematical formula or whatever layer that you have to call, whatever function that you have to call, everything is available just as a name, and you can just call it. So very easy to understand, very easy to adopt, very easy to learn at the end of the day. Now, if I'll talk about a specific computer vision based library, I have already listed down OpenCV and I have already listed down over here a NumPy. But yeah, so a specific computer vision library, if I am going to talk about that, you should know at the end of the day. So OpenCV, which I have already listed down. So OpenCV is one of the library, PIL is one of the library, and there is something called as scikit image library. Now, all of these libraries must be having thousands of function, inbuilt function. You are not supposed to do or learn or remember all of these functions, but what you can do is, so just try to work on some of the use cases, and you will be able to consume, you will end up consuming like a lot of things during building those use cases from these libraries, and that is going to be the best way to learn, I would say, right? So no need to go through all those thousands of functions, because no one will be able to remember it, and it's not even required. Yeah. Now, so if you are working in a computer vision field, so we do a lot of image labeling. That is technically called as annotation. So you have to know and you have to be experienced with a lot of annotation tool. ANNOTATION annotation tools. So in a market, lot of automatic or autonomous annotation tools or labeling tool which is available nowadays. So maybe you can try to try this out. CVAT is one of the tool. Then there is something called as label IMG is something that you can try to use. There is something called as RoboFlow that you can try to use for a annotation, so that you will be able to label all those images. Or maybe you can take a help from your junior or maybe a fresher intern who can do the work for you. Now, so annotation tool is fine. Then you should also learn how you will be able to deploy the model. So for a deployment, a couple of things you should know in a very first place. Streamlit. So with the help of this, you will be able to build a UI, a very simple, amazing UI you will be able to build, and that too Streamlit is supports Python. It's a pure Python library. So you are not going to face any kind of problem, and you will be able to build a client interface. And then Fast API. So one of the amazing way to expose anything that you have inside your application to the outer world. And then ONNX, one of the library, and then TensorFlow Lite, TF Lite, for hosting something on a edge devices or maybe in a device, so where computation power is very, very less. So these are the things that you should know in terms of a deployment if you would like to get into a field of computer vision. Then number 6 is basically a cloud. So it doesn't matter what you do and what kind of an application you are going to build. At the end of the day, cloud will be an integrated part of everything, right? Cloud will be integrated part. So here you should be aware about a couple of things. So maybe Google, AWS, Azure, Hugging Face, right? So again, when I say Google, when I say AWS, when I say Azure, so I'm not saying that you should be aware about everything. So there are some specific service inside a Google, a specific service inside a AWS, a specific service inside a Azure. So which helps you out in terms of consuming a pre-built model, pre-built API. For example, inside AWS, we can try to use maybe a AWS SageMaker, right? So and they help you out even in terms of building the complete infrastructure. They help you out in terms of shipping your entire project to the entire world. So specific to your project, you have to pick and choose, and then you have to learn, because there are more than 200 services which is available in almost all of these cloud platform, the major one, right? Major one. And then there is a something called as Hugging Face, so where you will be able to find out a lot of features in terms of downloading a models, in terms of even hosting a model, in terms of even building a pipeline. So and it's one of the popular one. Now, so the seventh part is nowadays in most of the cases we even try to like deploy the solution, a computer vision based solution, in a light weighted device, right? So maybe in a NVIDIA Jetson Nano, maybe on a Google Coral, maybe on a Raspberry Pi. So we have to be aware about, as a computer vision engineer, you have to be aware about Jetson Nano, maybe a Coral or Raspberry Pi. So NVIDIA Jetson Nano and Raspberry Pi. So the other thing that you should be aware about, guys. And then on top of everything that I have discussed, on top of everything, as per the current scenario, as per the world which is moving into an AI, so obviously you should be aware about a large language model integration with a computer vision use case basis as well. Yeah, use case basis as well. Now, so hope this part is clear, that what kind of a role that you will be able to get, what kind of a salary you will be able to get, and what kind of a tech stack that you are supposed to cover. Now, so what is a prerequisite before getting into this computer vision area? Like I said, you have to start your journey from a programming language, right? If you're going to start your programming language, like a journey with the programming language, and then if you are going to move into this way, it is a very good approach, and no one can stop you in terms of becoming a computer vision engineer. At the end of the day, you have to work on a lot of project, a real time one. You have to solve a lot of like things at the end of the day. Now, if I'll talk about many people ask me a question, that what should be the my system setup. So if you have i5 any generation, right? So if you have i5 any generation or above this one, right, more than or equal to i5 any generation, it is going to work fine for you. So you don't have to go and buy a new laptop. It's completely fine. If you have something the upgraded one, well and good, by the way. Yeah, well and good, you will be able to work, because most of the time, so whenever we have to do a heavy lifting, whenever we have to do a heavy training, anyhow you will not be able to do it inside your local machine. You have to go and opt for a cloud environment, right? And there are like a enough number of a vendor who is available, who can provide you this entire infrastructure. Now, so from where you are supposed to do all of these preparations. So this is where this computer vision masters comes into a picture, as you can see. So here, starting from what is computer vision, core image processing, and then deep learning for image classification, CNN architecture, each and everything till a project, everything whatever is required and whatever I have mentioned, each and everything you will be able to find out inside this particular syllabus, which I'm going to take, and which where I'm going to like discuss each and everything with all of you in a step by step manner. So I believe this is a best place from where you can try to prepare your computer vision engineer. Apart from that, so you will be able to get a lot of facilities from a Euron side. So I believe that is going to give you the added advantage in terms of preparation, in terms of hunting for a job, in terms of preparing a resume, in terms of taking a help from a AI while doing a preparation. So we have each and everything on this Euron platform. you can try to avail it, and it's one of the world's most affordable platform that you will be able to find out in terms of learning, in terms of like going through this entire journey in a step-by-step manner. All the material, all the recordings, all the collaterals, all the codes, all the projects, each and everything will be available inside one single place in your dashboard, which you can access at any point of a time. Yeah. So hope this roadmap for a computer vision is clear, guys, to all of us, and hope all of you are going to enjoy this entire roadmap and you can become a better and best computer vision engineer just by following this entire roadmap. So with that, thank you so much, everyone. Take care and see you again in my next lecture.